Hey y'all, this week's episode of The Read is brought to you by State Farm, where you can get surprisingly great rates on your car insurance and you don't even have to have a special connection on the inside. Your cousin ain't got to work for them, your baby mama, nobody, girl. You could get these awesome rates just for being you. And State Farm is not just another insurance company. They have the coverage that meets your needs for a price that fits your wallets. So check State Farm out today, because like a good neighbor, girl, State Farm is there, period. Let's move on.
Hey, Canada, you have a new home for Black music, I hear. The Block is a national radio show celebrating hip-hop and the music at its heartbeat. Funk, soul, reggae, Afro-pop, R&B, you name it. It's the music that's shaped the culture for generations past, present, and certainly future. Hosted by Angeline Tetoeo, weeknights at 7 on CBC Music and the CBC Listen app. Go groove and have a good time, and let's start the show. Well, niggas and friends, welcome back to this podcast. I am Ron Isley's beard brush.
And I am Asada Shakur. This is The Read. Thank you for coming back.
It is indeed. And thank you for coming back here on a brand new month. This is the first episode of April, right? It's like the 5th.
Yeah, 4th. I think this is.
Yeah, whatever. That month, here we are. Welcome. And let's get started with some Black excellence. And this week,
cannot wait.
I'm going to give it to Memphis educator that's gone viral. His name's David Jamison, and you may have seen video of him greeting his students who are going back to class at Hickory Ridge Elementary. He's a 5th grade English language arts teacher, and in this video he greets all of his kids by names, and they all have personalized handshakes, well, with a quarantine safe remix at the moment. And this man has over 200 students, so he's doing more than 250 handshakes a day for these students when they come in, and it's cute and adorable, and you can tell that he's the teacher that kids like love having. And there's actually one of the few bright moments in your K through 12 experience, when you have like a teacher that treats you like a human being and gives a fuck about more than just your grades. My God, it means so much. A world of difference.
It really does. You didn't mention that Mr. Jameson is fine.
Yeah, I wasn't going to. I didn't want to. I considered saying something. I don't know his marital status or anything, folks.
Respectfully, Mr. Jameson, you is fine, though, as well. Also, in addition to the work you are doing. So thank you for both of those.
I really, prior to this, was like, should I just leave that out? This is so wholesome. Like,
no, I'm sorry. The man is fine. I looked him up like, how is this not the first thing we talking about?
But yeah, like one of the first things I thought of when I heard about this is how in the name is he able to like remember all of these kids' names and handshakes, daps, dances, woes, whoops, all of the little shit that they do. And he said in an interview, I've always had a great memory growing up and even had a secret handshake with my best friend of 20 plus years. I remember what's important to me. My scholars are important to me. This small gesture goes a long way. It creates an atmosphere of love and vulnerability, allowing students to be completely open with me, even sharing with me troubling encounters that they have at home. So he also said,
That's so real.
I want all educators to understand that we have the most important job in the world. We're helping to shape the future generation of leaders. We must also prepare students for life. Many kids are good seeds, but planted in bad soil. And our job to nurture that environment so the seed can flourish, reaching its fullest potential. Don't just be average, be a dope educator, because our babies deserve it. And I think his name on Instagram is the Dope Educator, if you want to go.
It is.
Look
yeah,
up
no, I found him. I've followed
him. Yeah, I know you did.
Thank you so much. I sure did.
So shout out to you, Mr. Jameson, for being a dope teacher and one of, you're like, that's the teacher that even when you're at Shady Pines, you remember them. You know what I mean? Like, those are the teachers you never, ever, ever forget. So that's important.
Absolutely. And I love that he like told other educators, like the connection with the students is what really matters.
It does.
And that's so true, because when kids feel comfortable with you as a teacher, they will tell you things they would not tell other teachers.
True.
So shout out to Mr. Jameson and all the other educators like him who are just trying to help these kids through an absolutely terrible time in world history. God bless.
Okay, so let's move on to our pop culture segment, Hot Tops, the Thin Red Bottom. We're going to start with the latest Verzuz. Took place just yesterday. Wouldn't you know it? It was Earth, Wind, and Fire versus the Isley Brothers.
Yeah,
and
it was.
You know, at home, lust versus arthritis. So much.
Because some of y'all was being very nasty about Ron Isley. I just want you to know that was nasty.
Like, ma'am, sir.
Y'all need to go outside, touch grass, breathe oxygen, because it is never that serious.
I mean, Ron still knows he's fine. Like, you're not going to tell Ron Isley that he is not
of
fine.
Of course not, but he's 80 years old, and y'all are literally lusting after your pawpaw. And I cannot have it.
And I'm sure he's beating him off with a stick. Like, this man.
I believe it. I really do.
That beard, that cane. My word. So much like most of the Verzuz shows that have happened, I didn't watch this. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. It sounded like fun. It did sound like it was a good time. I'm asked my mom and them if they, well, actually, I know my mom didn't watch it, because if she did, she would have told me by now. So,
right.
For those of you who did, you know, congrats. Hope you had a blast. I did see like tiny clips and pictures, and everyone looked nice. And this is music that I grew up listening to and still love. So it was one of the Verzuz that you hear about and you're like, I feel like almost everyone would hear about one like this and be like, oh, fun. Even if you like really, really wanted to watch it, versus like Lil Baby Scoop Scoop and LMNOP.
Go off, Lil Baby
draws.
Scoop. Literally everyone's favorite. Yeah, no, I completely get it. I did watch some of the Verzuz because, you know, Black American, it's just something my legacy.
Yeah.
I had to in some point.
Yeah.
But I was not like super emotionally invested.
Fair.
And when I first like tuned into the Verzuz and was really listening, it was after it had gotten started. And they were talking about something. And Steve Harvey was saying how his daughters opened a club and he went to the club opening. And at the club opening, right. So this is like relatively recently.
Okay.
And so he was saying that like at this opening of the club, dudes was dancing with other dudes. And so he was like, I was at the club, you know, my daughter's club, and dudes is dancing with other dudes. And I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? It's this ladies in here. Why y'all not dancing with each other? You know, things is weird. It's not like when I was young, because y'all playing slow music. And D Nice, do you play slow music? You don't know nothing about that. And D Nice in the back like, yeah, I play slow music. And Steve like, yeah, but you got some sense. The rest of these young niggas ain't got no damn sense. And so ain't no slow music. And so niggas is dancing. No, I'm literally not. And I was like, not when I first cut on the goddamn Verzuz. Not when I first cut it on. Does Steve Harvey make it impossible to listen to? And so I went back and listened to later. And everybody was like, no, so I tweeted this, right? And everybody was like, you don't understand. Steve Harvey has been terrible like this since it started. And when I went back and watched from the beginning, Steve Harvey came out and did not talk about the Isley Brothers, did not talk about Earth, Wind, and Fire. Not really. He talked about himself.
I knew you were going to say that.
And he said, how dare you niggas ask why is Steve Harvey on the stage? He said, because who else?
Literally
this music grew me. This music shaped me. Okay, nigga, you and 8 trillion other niggas. Like, you and every other nigga born between 1950 and 1975. Please leave me alone. Like, you're not the only one by far. And that nigga sat there and talked about what different stage of life he was in when Earth, Wind, and Fire was popping, how he had to restrain himself because his dick was busting through his jeans when one of they saw. Right. I'm like, who the fuck cares? Can we talk to the actual legends, please? So I was so glad that I didn't even catch all that part. But when I went back and watched it, I was like, of course he did. Of course he did this. Like, that man sat there and defended himself against what the internet thought instead of celebrating the actual legends sitting in front of him. And I was like, this is why you don't deserve the job. Like, this is literally why you don't deserve the job. Because somebody else would have been more professional and not sat there and talked about why the young people don't want him. Hello, the old people don't want you neither. Because you're sitting up here wasting time, and this is going on way longer than it should have, because you want to talk about the dumb shit you did when you was in college and you was in your 20s, as opposed to these niggas who have made music we will be listening to for the rest of our days.
I mean, whoever hired Steve Harvey to do that clearly was like, oh yeah, come out here and do like your comic thing. Like they probably were looking for him to. We absolutely didn't. I'm not saying this in defense of the bullshit. I'm just saying clearly someone was like, oh yeah, let's get a comedian to come in and like make jokes and da da da. And so that was, I guess, supposed to be like his opening set. But I, in none of my days, need to really hear current day Steve Harvey tell a joke about anything. And I heard maybe like the day after, not too long after the announcement of this Verzuz, I heard Steve Harvey was hosting, and I was like, well, I wasn't sure I was gonna watch before, but now I know I'm skipping it. And I really didn't expect for you, like I in my mind at the time, I'm like, he's gonna say something corny or silly or just ugh. But I wasn't thinking he was gonna be like, my daughters opened a club and niggas were in there dancing with other niggas when there were women in there. Steve, your first day on Earth, pal? Huh?
Who cares?
Furthermore,
literally, who cares?
If your grandmama opened a fucking club somewhere, you know, she had a juke joint and niggas were in there dancing with niggas, then I would be like, oh, that is so nice that, you know, we're crossing those lines. I don't know. But like, girl, your daughter likely opening a venue that is, you know, inclusive and doesn't treat queer people like, you know, salacious garbage and throw them out on the street. Does it? Yeah. Why were you there? That's what I want to know. Like, what were you doing at the club?
Right. So it's like, first of all, there's that, because you really didn't have to be there in order to be supportive. Secondly, niggas don't even have to be dancing with each other. Like, he left it ambiguous enough to where it could have just been niggas like in a dance battle, like some You Got Served type of shit.
Oh.
It wasn't even necessarily like romantic dancing. It was just more like, why is this anecdote necessary?
That's and even stupider.
Right. Most importantly is that everybody else on stage was just sitting there looking at him. Like, nobody co-signed that dumb shit he said at all. Everybody was sitting there because, like, nigga, it was the fucking 60s and 70s. Niggas was in there trying to have fun, have a good time. Like, you are the one who brought this weirdness into it. And they took a break. They took like a 10-15 minute break in the middle of it. And I thought, you know, this is because everybody is elderly and they need, you know, a Gatorade break or whatever, which is fine. But it's clear, and Swiss Beats confirmed this. They talked to Broderick Harvey about his performance, because when they came back out, that nigga didn't say nothing for like the first 6 songs. And it was incredible. So, like, clearly they talked to him about the fact, like, this is not actually about you. It is not the Steve Harvey Verzuz with, like, how these bands make you feel. This is about the legends. Yeah. So can you please sit back and not make it the fuck about you? Like, he was so irritating, and it's like, this is why nobody wanted you to be the host.
Steven, this is
why, Broderick. This is why. Because you come and you be fucking annoying.
This isn't Family Feud. It's Family Fun. So if you could just...
Thank you for saying that, because when he first came out, he said, I want y'all to know this ain't Steve Harvey from Family Feud. This ain't Steve Harvey, the movie star, game show host, or whatever. He said all that. He was like, this is Steve Harvey, the young man who grew up on this music.
Bitch, we wouldn't give a fuck if it was Mr. Hightower. Get off the stage.
Honestly, it might as well have been Mr. Hightower, because Mr. Hightower was Steve Harvey.
Well,
just,
true.
You know, pretending to have a degree. That was literally the only difference. So it might as well have been Mr. Hightower, but I was just like, sir, nobody's impressed. And furthermore, no one cares.
I miss when he had a flat top.
Trust me, I'm so glad you didn't watch that, friend, because it was not worth your time.
Well, Interesting story outside of Drake's Toronto mansion. Apparently,
oh no.
Last Tuesday, Toronto police were called to the estate where they apprehended a woman who was apparently trying to sneak her way into Drake's house for whatever the fuck reason. I guess because he's Drake and his house is gorgeous. She's currently being investigated. Drake was at home at the time, but apparently, right?
How scary. Oh my God, that's so terrifying. God damn.
But it says that the woman did not make it near the inside of the home, nor did she have any contact with him. So
that nigga got a fortress.
Like, I imagine that, yeah, he probably has security or whatever that peeped her and took care of it. But in my mind, initially, when I read this, I just thought of like a fleet of dogs just coming out and like chasing her over the gate again, or some ridiculous, or like lasers or androids that come up out of the ground. Because have you seen this nigga's house? This is another thing. It's like,
no, I have not.
He's shot music videos in his house. There have been like photos of the interior and shit in magazines. It's like wealth. Like, it literally looks like rich.
Of course it is.
I mean,
yeah,
yes.
of course it does.
But like,
yeah, of course.
It looks like a Fabergé egg. Like, every room looks like something in Scrooge McDuck's vault. It's just really like...
Not a Fabergé egg, though.
Anyway, I read this and I was just like, and the girls really be wanting to be famous and don't even have anything to show for it. Like, at least this nigga makes good music to some. You know, motherfuckers just wanting to be on Viacom or whatever the fuck to get to this place. And next thing you know, you got motherfuckers trying to break into your house just because. There were rumors that the woman was armed with a knife and that she attacked security guards with a metal pipe. But the police said that's all bullshit. Can y'all please just let this go? We have her in custody. We're talking to her. Get her the help she needs. And Drake probably heard about it through text like 4 hours later. So, you know, there's a win for Aubrey. Not so much.
Kind of a win. I mean, still somebody tried to infiltrate your fucking property. And that would make me, you know, extremely nervous. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's just one of the things that comes with being that kind of famous.
He'll write a song about it.
He definitely will. And he'll make like another $8 million off of it. So that will be that. But I just, you know, personally, I can't imagine people being that pressed about getting inside the home where I live. Like, that would drive me crazy to even think about having to go through that shit.
When I hear about stories like this, I try not, like, I often assume that the person in question is likely not in their right mind. So I try to come at it from that perspective, because it's like, if it were like, well, I'm not in my right mind most of the time either. If it was just like any old average bitch, you know what I'm saying? If it was just any old average motherfucker, it's like, what happens? Like, when you get in, Drake's there, then what? Like, then what? Do you know, put some Orville Redenbacher in the microwave and say, what's on Cinemax? Like, what the fuck? What happens?
Oh my God.
That one woman who was it Chris Brown's house that she broke into and like,
yes, on Christmas,
put on his
and like crawled through the doggy door. Yes,
and, like,
that bitch got dressed
food.
and everything. Yeah. When I started barbecued, had her friends over. Like, that is my Bessie and a Tessie. Like, she was having big fun.
She made herself comfortable, but it's like, this
She
nigga's
did.
what I don't know. So I think last week I mentioned how Nike was suing this streetwear company, Mischief, the same company that's behind the Satan shoes that Lil Nas X was wearing in his video.
Oh, yes. I recall.
Promoting
yes.
around the video. Well, apparently, Nike's legal team operates, I think, the way that you'd imagine Nike's legal team does, because they're done. Yeah, it's finished. I don't even know if I can talk about these damn shoes anymore, to be honest with you. But yeah, they have to stop distributing and selling the shoes immediately. Again, I think this is hilarious because it's not the only altered Nike product that they have. And they literally have a Jesus version that bothered no one. But this is too much. So anyway, Lil Nas X tweeted, "Sorry guys, I'm legally not allowed to give the 666 pair away anymore because of the crying nerds on the internet. I haven't been upset." This kid is something else.
Period.
He said, "I haven't been upset until today. I feel like it's fucked up. They have so much power. They can get shoes canceled. Freedom of expression gone out the window, but that's going to change soon." So there you have it.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
if that's what you say, that's fine.
Honestly, I thought the shoes were stupid anyway. I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, the drop of human blood and all that, like, girl, I don't care. But the fact that it was only 600 some odd pairs, I was just like, of course those are going to sell out in 71 seconds. Mm-hmm. And that will be the end of that. Like, I really didn't think anything past it. I think people are only upset because it offends their delicate Christian sensibilities.
Right, yes.
That's really what it comes down to.
It is.
And I don't care about that. Like, I mean, well, I'm sorry. Like, I was born and raised deep, like, Bible Belt level of Christianity. So I get it. But also, y'all love to persecute people and then be mad when somebody say boo about y'all. Y'all literally love that shit. Y'all live for that shit. So I can't be mad that this boy is doing something that y'all don't like. Because y'all don't like a lot of shit that ain't actually a problem. So.
Damn.
Best of luck.
I wasn't going to wear Lucifer or Christ sneakers just for clarity.
None of that was my business.
Because I just feel like it's all dumb. But I do Crocs agree.
And Birkenstocks. I don't. I'm old. None of that is my business.
I mean,
but yeah, y'all were mad for no good reason, as far as I'm concerned, about Lil Nas X. Y'all were just mad because he dared say or do something that you didn't like. That was really all there was to it.
So, which one of these niggas do I discuss first?
Oh, Lord.
All right, so let's just jump into an update from last week's Quavo and Saweetie debacle. Maybe a fresh 32 seconds after the episode going up.
It was literally like an hour later, nigga. I was disgusted.
It was like post video. It happened right after we talked about these niggas.
I was so mad.
Every week. And the moment that this episode goes up, we'll find out that Quavo's an alien and then whatever the fuck else. Like, I'm sick of it. Anyway.
It don't even matter what day we put the show out. Y'all will
It doesn't.
Until we put it out for the mess.
It does not. When the show came out on Thursdays, all the wild shit happened on Friday. I don't get it. The fact
that, like, this happened a week ago and it is already so old to my brain that I had to sit and think for a second. When you said Quavo and Saweetie, I was like, what happened? Like, that's how unfair this is.
Yeah.
We don't deserve that.
This show's cursed. I believe it's me, honestly.
It's not you, it's me.
I won't be surprised if I find out that the fucking teacher from Black Excellence is actually the Black Dexter or whatever. No. Like, y'all always come back around and be like, oh, didn't you know that you're completely wrong about this? And that person you said kind things about actually eats babies?
No, it's not you.
Man, fuck this podcast. I'm kidding.
That's why we just got to shut it down one day, just randomly.
So, a video came out by way of, I don't know, it was TMZ. One of these gossip blogs got a clip from an elevator fight between Saweetie and Quavo. It looked like they were like coming out of like the garage of what was reportedly Saweetie's like apartment complex.
Yeah.
Getting into this elevator and like tussling over some sort of a case or bag. And yeah, like it's very rough. Quavo basically like swings her around to the ground. And when she hits the ground, she just sort of sits there until the elevator gets to them to where they're going. And then Quavo looks up at the camera like, yep, this is coming out.
It sure is. It was like he realized it immediately in that moment exactly how he had fucked up.
I don't know of an elevator that doesn't have a camera in it.
All of them do.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, Saweetie to the incident said, this unfortunate incident happened a year ago. While we have reconciled since then and moved past this particular disagreement, there were simply too many other hurdles to overcome in our relationship, and we have both since moved on. I kindly ask that everyone respect my privacy during this time. Good luck with that. Niggas don't respect your privacy.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that, but shout out to you for asking.
And the Migos man says, we had an unfortunate situation almost a year ago that we both learned and moved on from. I haven't physically abused Sweetie and have real gratitude for what we did share overall. This gives me, they both knew that this video was coming out, and their reps both had statements prepared for when it did. And in fact, I want to say that the day, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong about this because God knows that y'all will. Well, the reason that you can't call her bitch on the RuPaul's Drag Race is because of copyright. You can't say fictional characters on Drag Race. I want to say that the day that elevator video came out, there was like a new Migos video and song out as well. So the girls were fully prepared for this to be released, and I think they're both doing their best to move on. Seems like Quavo's doing more of a damage control-y situation.
Definitely.
Whereas Sweetie seems like she wants to be left alone.
Yeah. Sister is getting back to her club appearances and getting to her bag. Mm-hmm. And I can't really say I'm mad at that. My thing about the video is that obviously we haven't seen the whole thing. So for those of you who are finna tell us that, we know that we haven't seen the whole thing. Right. We don't know how it started or whatever. It does clearly look like Sweetie is physically assaulting him when it first begins. I'm not debating any of that. What I'm saying is that what is also clear is that man swung her ass onto the elevator, tossed whatever bag she tried to throw out of it back onto the elevator, and made sure she stayed on the elevator. That's what I know. And so I'm not trying to, assign fault or guilt or innocence to anybody in the story. I'm just saying y'all do everything you can to not hold men accountable, and I won't never be that bitch. That's all I'm saying about that. Y'all will literally bend heaven and earth and be like, oh, but he didn't punch her, he didn't hit her, he didn't blah blah blah, he didn't this. Again, when she broke up with him, or when she announced that she broke up with him, this wasn't even part of the story.
Right.
So it was just a matter of time before this came out. And obviously both of them knew there were cameras in the elevator. This was Sweetie's apartment complex.
Right.
So it is what it is. I'm just saying, when it comes to watching that footage and automatically signing with the man, you won't find me there. That's literally all I'm saying about it. I'm going to say, those things I saw were true. And then I also saw this here. And I saw that girl sitting there until she got back down to the ground floor of the building. And I saw that girl sitting there while the door opened on some random floor, and a man sat there and saw what was going on and chose not to get on the elevator. That's what I'm saying. The rest of you can believe or feel whatever you would like.
Yeah, I mean, this was going to be said darker, but I realized I don't have to say it in a dark way. It could have been worse on camera.
Oh, definitely. You don't want to see what... Never mind.
It could have been worse on camera, and people still would find ways to side with the man. We know that. That's just the environment. I mean, that's the society that we fucking live in, and it sucks. It's unfortunate, and it's really fucking old and lame. But
it's sad.
with this particular video, yes, like we saw just as much as everybody else, and everybody is making their own assessments and reaction videos and detective work and SVU and all of this other shit. And these people aren't together anymore, and I just honestly wish them both. Well, I wish Saweetie the best.
Let's be real. We don't actually wish men any good ever.
I wish Saweetie the best in health and wealth. And yeah, I'm done.
I mean, I do too. I wish her the best in all things, and I also know that this is probably the last footage that she wanted to come out, while also knowing that it absolutely would come out. So I hope that she is able to heal and move on. The fact that she chose not to tell us about this means that I'm going to let her drive the conversation about how it goes. Like, she clearly didn't press charges or nothing like that. So I'm not going to get myself involved in the situation. But no, I'm not going to get emotionally wrapped up in something that ultimately don't have nothing to do with me. But I will say that always I will believe women until there is concrete evidence for me to not. And that is what it takes. And that was not what was in this video.
Speaking of
oh no, I'm gonna regret this, aren't I?
Speaking of possibly abusive rap niggas in relationships with rap women, Steven Uziverse or Uziverse has to do something. I think Steven Uziverse has to just figure out what's going on. And I'm not just talking about that Lisa Frank forehead that he's got now. I don't know how this happened because
oh Lord.
I was not in on the live, so unless you watched this whole live moment between Lil Uzi Vert and Young Miami, I'm gonna assume that you saw the same 60 seconds or whatever that I did.
I was gonna say, I have not seen whatever you talking about.
There's a clip of this shit is 2 minutes long. But yeah, I think so when someone joins your live, they're on the bottom, right?
I think so, yes, if you allow them to be like a co-host.
They're on live together. Carisha looked like she in her bed or something at home. Meanwhile, Uzi is talking to her in the back of, one of the fancy rich nigga cars. And again, it starts kind of in the middle of a heated discussion. And JT is off to the side because you can hear her desperately trying to get this nigga to shut up and give her and give her back her phone, which I believe he was on her phone.
Oh God, why?
Y'all let me know. Were Carisha and JT on live together and he happened to be how did this even end up happening? Because I don't. Anyway,
this feels so like I was born in 1996.
Yeah, girl, I have never felt like more of an aunt.
This feels like my baby brother's kind of drama.
Absolutely. So he's basically saying shit to her you and me don't ever have to see each other ever. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like me, blah, 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 blah. And what was more bothersome to me is that as JC is trying to interject, he would just say gross shit to her. He'll be he told her to shut up at one point.
What?
At one point he was like, JT, if I tell you to tongue kiss me on this live right now, you'll do it. So stop. Very controlling, manipulative type of tone.
No, won't do none of that.
Are you fucking kidding? Listen.
Who the fuck are you talking to first and foremost?
Anyway, he keeps going back and forth with Carisha. You can find the whole video if you want to. She again said maybe 5 words during this 2 minutes. And she was mostly just sitting there with a smirk on her face
Wait, hold on. He was talking to Carisha, Young Miami. He wasn't talking to JT?
No, he was on live with Carisha, but JT was in the car. So he was talking to Carisha.
Oh, why was he talking to Carisha? Okay, never mind.
No, he was talking to Carisha saying, we ain't got to be friends. If you don't like me, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, we don't got to be friends, nigga, because I'm her real friend. You her dick. So now what's up?
But she's not saying anything. JT's trying to get the phone back from him, telling him that he's doing too much.
Oh my God. Blah, blah, blah.
And again, Carisha's just sitting there like, okay. Because she knew that what would follow was going to follow. So she didn't have to say anything. She knew it was going to be some mess. And she knew that she knows that JT is her friend regardless. So she was probably like, yo, I can tell this nigga is going off the cocaine and the Molly or whatever the fuck you young niggas are on these days. Like, I'm sure she was just like, I'm going to just sit back and let it ride, whatever it is. But no,
this that you tell, it's still outrageous. Like, it's still crazy that a nigga think he can talk to you this way and it not be an issue. Like, and then to tell my friend, if I tell you to come get on the live, you gonna do it? Nigga, I'll beat your ass myself. Don't even talk to her. Talk to me. Like, that's when I would have got like real fucking ignorant about the whole situation.
I was more so saying that I believe Carisha knew that she also had a face tatted hood nigga that doesn't give a fuck about
I don't even know who
issues.
Her baby daddy is. I don't even know who that person is.
Her baby father is a producer named Southside. He's part of 808 Mafia, who have actually produced one or two Lil Uzi Vert songs.
Of course they have.
But yeah, he himself is also a tatted faced hood nigga that, you know, carries the blicky. So
well, there you go.
There's that.
She was like, I know what this is. Because my baby daddy be on that same stupid shit.
So not too long after Southside, Carisha's baby father got onto a live of his own.
Lord, yes! Defend your baby's mama.
Don't get too excited.
Oh no, don't say that. I thought he was gonna come through. Like a real nigga.
He does defend Carisha and threaten to punch Uzi's teeth out.
Okay.
If he disrespects her again. But the entire time that he references her, he doesn't say Carisha, he doesn't say Miami, or even he says my bitch every single time. He says, don't say nothing else to my bitch. If you don't like my bitch, don't like my bitch. Leave my bitch alone. Like,
y'all so young.
And that's the thing. Someone pointed out to me afterwards was like, I understand that you feel that way, but like, you gotta know, like, some girls don't care. Like, some girls they like that. Yeah, like, they don't
that's
mind.
My lady to them. Yeah.
Like my bitch is like my fair lady.
No, thank you. Like, not for me.
So
that might as well be my wife, my holy, sacred, God-given partner in life.
Carisha probably saw this shit and was like, I'm riding your face tonight.
I'm in love. Another baby coming. So
let's have another baby.
No, thank you.
But yeah, now this nigga want to punch Uzi in the face because Uzi was being fucking weird and talking to both JT and Carisha crazy on live. And the thing is, apparently, I didn't know this until today. Carisha said about a month ago that he had cursed her out before and said something she said,
oh, wow.
She said, Uzi cleared me, bitch. He said, bitch, I don't know you. And I said, okay. So Carisha is always...
I don't know you.
And he claimed on Twitter,
oh, God,
that's my girlfriend, best friend. I was playing with her. She always cursed me out. I never treated a woman how I treat JT. I literally will die for her. It was just playing, y'all dragging it. If Uzi doesn't have a therapist, he should get one. And I think that he needs to just go ahead and work out whatever issues it is that he has that is separate from JT, Carisha, or any other women that surround him that he feels like he can talk to like they're, animals. Right. And as far as Southside goes, like, my bitch might be their love language. So I guess today I will leave it alone. But when I'm gonna
let the young people have the way they communicate. I'm gonna let them have that because I wanted the boomers to let us have our shit.
True.
I just wanted to say I'm an old and I don't understand it.
Very true.
Because a nigga not finna call me my bitch and more than once and me feel like that's a loving phrase. That's not gonna happen. So, but I'm glad that was cleared up amongst the youth.
I just won't. As long as JT and Carisha stay JT and Carisha, I don't give a fuck what none of these niggas or their face tattoos are talking about. First the fuck of all, I've gotten way too many bangers from that Miami woman for you to be talking to her any kind of wild way on motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? It's not to say that there isn't a single Uzi Vert song that I like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't give a fuck. What are you if I told you to come over here and to kiss me on the camera right now, you'd do it. What?
I don't even know a Uzi Vert song, so we can just start and end.
That's fine. There. That's fine. And fair.
I really don't know, and I'm not gonna look it up.
And not surprising. So, yeah, as long as the city girls stay girls in the city, I will let them figure the rest of this stuff out. Because these young rich hood nigga issues are a little bit outside of the bounds of my nigga. You know, like I don't fully understand the lifestyle, and that's okay. I feel you. That's okay.
I feel you. I do. And that's fine. Like, the point of living is to age. And you are not supposed to relate to niggas who were born 30 years after you were. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to let them people who were 7 years. No, they're not that young. But if them niggas was 10 or younger when you were born, mind your goddamn business.
I mean, because... But just in general, like, I don't know why the need to be this involved in your girlfriend's friend's life any the fuck way. Besides seeing you at the house party or at, Nobu or wherever y'all eat and being like, oh, hey, what's up, Carisha? Oh, hey, like, why are we, for what? Like, I don't, you could just let your girlfriend's friend be friends and then have friends of your own.
Right. Because the thing I'm thinking of immediately is that, like, partners who try to separate you from your friends and family 9 times out of 10 are abusive in some way. And so you don't need to be with nobody who's trying to separate you from the people who have known and loved you all your life. Like, that's the first thing I'm thinking of. So if you're not on that type of shit, then she should be able to have her friends and family and you have yours, and niggas should find a way to coexist or break up.
Right.
And let that be that. It don't have to be some big crazy whole like to do. You niggas should be doing the fucking most when it don't have to be that way. So I mean, JT and Uzi, they my brother's age.
Wow.
So I'd just be like, Annie can send you $20 on Cash App. What else you want? Like, I don't have nothing else for you young niggas. What the fuck else do you want from me? I'm over here listening to Dionne Warwick, girl. I have nothing for you. I'm fucking knitting. Literally knitting.
I remember when I'm not gonna make another Isley joke. It's he has a beard. It's white. Okay. Okay. So lastly, I'm going to mention the fact that DMX is unfortunately in critical condition in the hospital due to a drug overdose. I'm actually gonna Google and see if there's an update. Hopefully, a possible one. I mean,
I don't think
a positive one.
I think he's still in a vegetative state.
It says his children and family and folks have come to visit him. You know, he got 15 kids.
I mean, I did not know that, but I'm also not surprised by that.
Your face did not move at all. Like, there was no surprise.
It was like you had told me it was 66 degrees today.
Yeah.
Yep, it was.
His youngest baby was born in 2016.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And apparently they say that they tried to resuscitate him, paramedics. He's had a lack of oxygen to his brain or something like that. So he's basically surrounded by loved ones in prayer right now. There was even like a whole Rough Riders, like the Rough Riders pulled up to the hospital where he's staying and had like a hood vigil. It was like a powerful hood moment. Like, I'm not even trying to joke. Like, they were out there on their bikes and stuff and revving it up. And it was just like, prayers up for DMX, man. Hopefully he gets better soon. It sucks because it's like, if you know a fraction of DMX's story, you know his history with this kind of thing. So it sucks because it was like, wasn't it like last year or so that he had those pictures? And what magazine was that? Was it GQ, Esquire? He had like a whole like spread. Where he was looking good and he seemed healthy and he was like getting ready to go on tour or do a new album or something. And it's just like, my word, this planet is just dark right now.
It is. It's a rough existence for a lot of people. And I don't know. My history with DMX is complicated because when I first got really exposed to his music, it was during a church lock-in, because of course it was.
Yeah, of course.
Because my mama didn't let me go nowhere else for New Year's Eve but the church.
Yeah,
and
amen.
So I was there, and some younger heathens played me It's Dark and Hell is Hot, and the title alone was salacious. I was like, oh, y'all are going directly to hell.
Imagine that.
I sat there and listened to that song. I fell in love with DMX. And so hearing about his struggles with substance abuse really hits home for me as somebody who also struggles with substance abuse and like frequently feels like not being a part of this world. So like, I completely get it. I just wish him the best in recovery and the like short term and the best in recovery the long term, because those are two very different things. It's one thing to stay alive. Yeah. It's another thing to thrive. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, y'all are asking them to stay alive when what they really need is to thrive. Mm-hmm. Because life is just fucking hard. And there's just so many aspects of a person's life you don't understand. So my heart really goes out to him and his family. I pray that he recovers and that he finds the peace that he needs. But I don't know. I feel like more than anything, all I can say is I fucking get it. I get it. Mm-hmm. I get, and relapse is part of recovery. So I just hope that he makes it through this relapse and continues on to recovery, because he deserves it. So best of luck to him and his loved ones. It's a sad, sad story.
Okay, that is all I've got for Hot Tops this week. We're going to take a break and then come back to read your letters. Hey guys, so listen, now's the perfect time to turn your ideas into a new website. If you've been thinking about it, you can do it with Squarespace. You'll find exactly what you need, whether you're showcasing work, blogging, selling products and services, announcing an upcoming event that possibly or hopefully won't get anyone sick, just things. Get to know your audience also with their analytics tool. Those include insight on things like page views, traffic sources, audience geography, all that important stuff you want to keep track of. And it's really, really, really simple to design the website itself. It's a lot of dragging and dropping and very, basic, easy stuff. And you still get a website that not only looks great, but is optimized for mobile right immediately. So it's going to look great on any device. So go over to squarespace.com/read for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code READ to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Crystal and I have used this for our websites. So they're great. Go to squarespace.com/read with offer code READ for 10% off your first purchase. And now we shall return to the podcast. All right. It's time to read your letters, folks.
That's right. It's time for your letters. Send your questions to asktheread@gmail.com. We may read them out loud on the show. We have one quick question here from Tara, who wants to know if you have watched the new She-Ra, and if so, any feelings about Shadow Weaver in particular, but the cast in general. Have you seen it?
Nothing that was just said besides She-Ra is familiar to me. I know that there's a She-Ra reboot that I believe is on Netflix and has been on Netflix for a little while, and I haven't watched it, but like a lot of the time that we would have Steven Universe stan sessions on here, someone would be like, oh my God, if you guys like Steven Universe, you probably really like She-Ra. You should watch She-Ra. Watch it. I'm coming to your house right now. I'm going to make you watch it if you don't fucking watch She-Ra. So I'm like, it's definitely on my list of things to check out.
Right.
But my word, if y'all understood what I love to watch that I'm not caught up on, like making time for new things and working and feeding myself and staying clean.
It's too much work.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, well, hopefully we will catch up on She-Ra soon and let you know how we feel. But in the meantime, let's move on to our first letter. This comes from Portia, who says, I moved from my state to be with my girlfriend, who I thought I was going to marry, but unfortunately she ended our relationship. She swears I did nothing wrong, but she just isn't happy anymore. I've been struggling to deal with this breakup, seeing as we planned a life together that she met my friends and my parents and my godchildren, and I never introduced anyone to any of them niggas. It doesn't seem like we will ever get back together or even be friends once this breakup is over, besides therapy, which I plan to get into once I'm stable on my own. How do y'all suggest I deal with a breakup where nothing went wrong and it just didn't work out the way you wanted it to? Am I wrong for still loving someone who is showing me that they didn't love me back? Is it bad to question if they ever really loved you at all? Thanks. Signed, Portia.
Is this a very special episode of the fucking read? Like,
oh no, don't say that.
I already dove headfirst into this shit. Okay, listen. To answer your question, it is not wrong to still be in love with this person. You are a human being. Love does not simply dissipate once you learn some striking new information or some event in your relationship happens. Like, a nigga could hit you with a car and it doesn't mean you're gonna stop loving them the next day or the next month or that's just not how it works. So you're not wrong for it. Don't feel bad about it. Do the work that you need to do to heal. And it's also not wrong to question whether or not they ever loved you. That matters to you. That was time and energy of your life that you spent in a situation that fucking mattered to you. So to question whether or not any of it was authentic, any of it meant anything or whatever is human. Give yourself a fucking break. Give yourself a break. Like, not every relationship ends in turmoil and chaos and war and all of that stuff. And that's ideal. Personally, I'd prefer a relationship end like that. However, I also completely understand the need for like closure or understanding or sense to be made of the ending in order for you to move on. I think that you kind of need to do a little bit of work separating yourself and your existence from your now exes or whatever, and like build yourself back up and remind yourself about all of the dope things that you are and have that make someone gravitate towards you in the first place. You're not going to never be in love again. And it's not like no one will ever love you or whatever. But the way that you're feeling right now is completely human. Do not villainize yourself for having human emotions. It's just not fair. It's not fair. And that person doesn't deserve it. So.
Right. I honestly think the advice about not demonizing yourself for having human emotions is probably the most important advice you need to take, because a lot of us beat ourselves up not just for feeling bad, but for having the capacity to feel bad in the first place.
Yep.
Which is like, if you truly care about somebody, you are taking the risk of having your heart broken. You are doing that. You are taking the risk of having your feelings hurt. And so all it means, if your feelings are hurt, is that you chose to be vulnerable with somebody. And it is a risk you take that it might not end up right, or it might not end up with everybody feeling great. And to be honest, most times it's going to end up in a breakup, because that's how most relationships end, period.
True. Yep.
So I think that's really important. I would also say that I have been on both sides of this. I've been the person who was broken up with for no apparently good, quote unquote, reason. And I have been the person who broke up with somebody for what they thought was no good reason. And I know how much it hurts when you are the person who got dumped in that situation. And I also know how hard it is to break up with somebody when you simply know that they are not the one. And you don't want to waste their time or your time. And it's a difficult thing to do. But it is still true that you feel like this ain't it. And so you have to just say it and let that be that. So both of those are really difficult positions to be in. What I would say is, first and foremost, please don't contact your ex for any reason. It is over and let it be over.
Yeah.
Anything you have to say, vent to family or friends, anybody but your ex. Please do not go back to your ex. Yeah. And I say that to the person who broke up with you too. Please, if you broke up with somebody in that situation, leave them the fuck alone. Let them move on. Let them grieve. Let them heal. Let them get over you. Yeah. Because even though it was hard for you, they still have the feeling of rejection. So please let them process that.
Yeah.
Past that, it's very normal, I think, to have these feelings of love, even though you were rejected. Those don't just shut off automatically. And as cliche as it is, as more time that passes, you will feel less emotionally attached to those feelings.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's how you feel. But 6 months from now, I guarantee you will not feel as intensely as you do right now. And a year from now, it will be even more different. So I would say detach from that nigga, block them on every possible avenue of communication. Block them on social media, on your phone, on your email, on literally fucking everything. Don't let that nigga get in touch with you at all. Focus on your own healing and don't try to cover up the pain as if it doesn't exist. It exists. You were vulnerable with somebody and it did not work out in the way you wanted, and that hurts. And it's okay to just let that hurt. Just let it hurt. Because the more you try to drink it away, smoke it away, fuck it away, drug it away, whatever y'all do to pretend you don't have feelings, they don't ever actually go away. And you will have to feel them one day in one way or another. So I would suggest just doing that and letting that be that and not worrying about whether y'all are friends again or ever talking again or anything like that. Like, worry about yourself, worry about how you feel and whether you're okay, and focus on your future. You don't really have to worry about whether you and your ex are ever going to be friends again because honestly, the relationship is over. So fuck that nigga. That don't matter no more. What matters is you and how you feel about things and how you're going to take care of yourself from this point going forward. So yeah.
I personally sometimes suggest friends or family in breakups that they struggle with to have a funeral for the person. I don't know. Sometimes I say wake, sometimes I say funeral. I'm probably saying the wrong thing anyway. But yeah, I'll be like, get something that you still have of theirs or something you have that reminds you of them, or just put a picture or their name on a piece of paper and put it in a little box or something like that and bury it or burn it or have some sort of, I'm such a psycho. Have some sort of
no, I feel like this is perfectly
physical representation of that person.
A program.
No longer existing.
A funeral program. Your friends who are with you will print it up and act like he died the day he broke up with you.
But that's just my opinion.
I think that's a good idea, but please let us know how the morning goes. Our next letter is really quick from Marquise, and it says, are y'all caught up on Drag Race? Can we talk about the top 4? I would love to hear y'all's opinion over the last few weeks of the show. Thanks, Marquise. Are you caught up, friend?
I am.
Oh, God. So can we talk about what happened a week before last?
Oh, yes, we can.
When everybody's favorite liberal white queen had to go during the roast.
Utica is I really enjoy Utica's drag.
Utica's drag is very fun.
And obviously she's great at constructing garments and stuff like that. So she's like
very good.
Got that. I think that like, you know how you have those like, I'm the quirky, kooky drag queen that's weird and does things all Tim Burton and Topsy. Right. It's like with some of them, you can tell that maybe they're a little weird and they just like lean into it, right? Utica is truly delusional. Like that bitch is like, like what's the word? Like aloof? Like I think like she really is on a different planet. Like completely. It's like they'll say to Utica, like, Utica, you should wear, pink on the runway. And she'll wear yellow. And they'll all be like, why didn't you wear pink? The competition was pink or whatever. And then in her confessional, she'll be like, the judges loved my yellow look. And I feel really great about it. I'm so excited.
They said, oh my God, Utica, you're so different.
And she like starts tapping her cheeks and she's like, I can't wait to lip sync. It's where I come alive. Like she doesn't get it. It's really fascinating. Because her roast was terrible. It was awful. And then
It was really bad.
When she got chopped and then she was like doing her little exit speech or whatever, she was like, I had such a great time and now I feel like I have a future in roasting and maybe I'm a comedy queen.
No.
Girl.
That's got mixed legacy. That's not yours. That's mixed legacy.
One of the actual comedians on the stage, on the judges panel, booed you. When they said your name, she booed.
And told you and straight up said you the one bombing right now. When Lonnie Love told Utica, you can say whatever you want to. You the one absolutely crashing and burning right now, nigga. I scream.
It was so cringe. I have not. Oh, that was awful. She is just very much bad. Like far more. I can tell that she's one of those, not even just the queens, but like one of the people that come into televised competitions like this, constantly worried about audience reaction to every single thing that they do and say. That's why she was like, I don't want to wear an afro, even though the person I'm playing was a white man with a fro. But instead, I'm going to simulate an afro with a cluster of squirrels because that's not offensive. And then it was like she tried to almost do the same thing with the Baps shit on the episode that they won. Yeah, her and Simone. Oh, I don't know. And essentially, Simone was like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up and put on this goddamn like." Because what I'm not about to do is be in the bottom with your fake ass.
But they set her up with the right bitch. They set her up with the right bitch because Simone has experience with white queens. So they set up with somebody who can handle her ass. If Miss Bag Challenge was still there, that shit would not. Don't get me wrong, because I love my sister, but it would not have gone down that same way.
I love Lala Ree too, but that was inexcusable.
You will never tell me. First of all, hot gluing them baby shower gift bags.
Why did she do that?
Because she can't sew it.
But she didn't even girl, you could have cut the bags into interesting pieces and then glued them. No. She just glued it looked like a shelf at Walgreens.
It did. It was just flat pastel bags with the white rope and everything attached.
How embarrassing.
As much as I love Lala Ree, that was
that was bad.
Fuck else. It was. And
but yeah,
I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have it for the white queens who are struggling right now. I don't have it for y'all.
Yeah, like I said, I enjoy Utica's drag. I'm sure it's not the last I'll see of it, and but her going was not. I wasn't mad. It was her time, and I feel like as far as this last episode, same. In fact, Olivia should have went home that week that Simone and Utica won. Olivia should have got chopped instead of Denali because Denali actually had Olivia look like Denali, whereas Olivia made Denali just look like a random drag queen. And then her lip sync wasn't even better.
For Black's rights, I just couldn't vote Olivia off. But you're not wrong.
She offered nothing. Like, I think she's beautiful. She's got a gorgeous, gorgeous smile. I think her drag is excellent as well. But her making it to the top 5 to me was shocking. But I think I'll see more of her. And she's beautiful. And I'm certain that, you know, in an All-Stars, theoretically, she'll be far more elevated.
Yes. Mark tweeted earlier that like all Olivia needs is like a drag mentor, one of the older girls.
That's a good point.
Kind of take her under their wing and she'll
be a killer.
Tune all of those points. Like, I mean, because like when the girls said they would get rid of Olivia, they all said it was because she was so young and she was not able to like adapt to.
She needs more time.
The way they were. And that is true. All the other girls have been through way more shit than Olivia. Olivia's kind of like the smiling, cute, young virgin of the cast or whatever. And so I'm really not mad at that. I can't wait to see her on All Stars.
Yeah.
But I can't disagree with you at the same time. Like, she could have been left by now. She could have left before Tina Burner, before Denali, and I would not have been able to say nothing about it. I feel like they literally kept her on this long because Black people were so mad at RuPaul's Drag Race. And we just refused to have a top 5 that was not majority Negro. So.
And I mean, she's like, it's never a hard time looking at Olivia Lux. I mean, she's beautiful,
she's gorgeous.
So.
She's like a little brown like, what is that girl's name? That model married to John Legend, Chrissy Teigen.
Oh,
she's like a little black, like her face looks exactly like Chrissy Teigen's to mine, but she's like the quintessential really sweet homecoming queen, girl next door.
Even though she's clearly not really sweet.
Right, no, she's not. And Tina Burner clocked her ass from the very beginning.
From like episode 3.
Let me tell you about that bitch Olivia Lux. That's a goddamn diva. That's Mariah Carey in disguise. And y'all don't understand. And Tina was right.
Yes, she was.
I'm not mad at any of that, but I do agree that like she just needs a little fine tuning. And then she's here to whip the rest of y'all's asses.
Yeah, I think she'll be a killer.
And then as far as top 4, I love Simone, of course.
That's my winner. I don't give a fuck what they do.
As long as Simone is there, she's my number 1. Gottmik is my number 2.
Oh, I love Gottmik.
I love
Gottmik. Like, Gottmik came in and was like, oh, fashion, like, very pretty, like, obviously great at makeup. But yeah, I love when Gottmik slays at, like, comedy and stuff where she feels like,
yes, like, the roast.
Oh my God, her roast
she really
was
came
so
alive
good.
During the roast. It was so good.
Like, it wasn't even just the way that she delivered it was like the delivery of the jokes, but also like her gestures and like facial expressions. Like, that bitch is funny. Like, yes, funny.
She is.
And she unlike Utica, she left and was like, I think I have a future in comedy because the judges told her that.
Right. Like, Ru was like, this is very Phyllis Diller. And it was like you could see a light coming on and Gottmik like, holy shit, I'm actually good at this.
Yeah.
Like, this was the one thing I didn't want to do and I'm actually good at it.
Yeah.
So I was like super proud of her for that. And I want, like, if a white queen has to win, I hope it's Gottmik. I'm not mad at Rose because Rose is clearly very talented, but there's also something about Rose that gives me like white power and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, and I could be very wrong, and I'm sorry if I am, but there's something about Rose that just screams there's just something about Rose that screams like Blue Lives Matter, and I can't handle it. So, you know, but I mean, the girl can sing, she can dance, she clearly she outacts everybody on that stage, and it's not even close.
I mean, she's seasoned. The bitch has been on like one of those other, I don't know if it was America's Got Talent or X Factor, one of those shows.
Was on something, yeah.
They sing like she is trained in a lot of those things, so that's why. But the reason it's like, I'm not gonna hate, obviously, but it's like. A Rose, when I guess I can understand because the bitch is literally talented. Like, she checks the boxes. But we have so many of them. Like, she wouldn't be the only pretty white girl winner of Drag Race that, like, can maybe sing and act and is really funny and stuff like that. It's like, I wouldn't be mad, but it would be like the least exciting win to me.
Exactly. And I feel like, honestly, Gottmik and Simone have earned it more than Rose.
I agree.
I feel like Rose and Candy are kind of neck and neck for me, competition-wise. And so when it comes right down to it, Candy is ghetto and black and from the Bronx, so I rate her above Rose automatically because of those things. But I'm also really, really not mad at Candy. I feel like me and Candy would be really good friends in real life.
I could see that.
Can't you? Both of us loud as shit, ordering nachos and smoking weed and being real loud and disrupting the fucking party. Like,
I think I'm still a little low key.
Me.
I think I'm still low key mad she sent home Tamisha, but at the same time,
Tamisha was gonna go home anyway.
Before this,
I'm glad it was a black queen. I'm glad it was a black queen who showed her the utmost of respect when she went home.
After they showed her the utmost disrespect, but
I mean, yes.
But getting to know more about her, we figure where that was coming from. Yeah, I feel like Candy is another one that has grown. I feel like she deserves to be in the top 4 as well, personally. So I'm not mad at that. But like I said, from that first, like almost every season they do a meet the stars of season blank, and it's on YouTube.
Yeah. Yep.
And I usually watch them. And when I saw Simone on that clip on YouTube,
of course,
I was like, "There's mine. There's my win. I don't give a fuck.
There's my season 13 winner." Yep.
And the same thing happened with me for Shea Coulee. And much like Shea Coulee,
yes,
the bitch impressed me the whole way through. So that's my winner. But I love Gottmik too.
I still love Shea Coulee. I still. To this day, you can't tell me nothing about Shea Coulee, the first Drag Race contestant who was ever on this show. Like, I remember I had kind of casually watched it before we did that episode, but then after that, I really became a fan and like tuning in every week and cussing out RuPaul for like blatant racism and all that shit. I felt like I was one of y'all, forever, because that's what y'all had been doing forever. So I truly love Shea Coulee. I really love Simone, even though I don't usually love black girls who seem to have mostly white friends. I really love Simone. I love Gottmik because that bitch is just so goddamn talented and so fucking good. She is just so goddamn good.
Every runway.
Yes.
That bitch
I love Candy for being a ghetto bitch from the hood because who ain't?
But there are layers. That's what I appreciate is there are layers. And I think that the bitch really, for the most part, tries to take critique and apply it.
Right. And I think
it's willing to learn in the process.
Yes, I agree. And I think that's what she was saying when Ru asked them who all should leave that week.
Mm-hmm.
When she was like, she was the one who really broke it down because everybody said Olivia except Olivia, obviously.
Right. Well, she did that whole, you know what? I can't say me.
I can't say me and I can't say any of the girls. And it's like, okay, well, we're just going to wait until you can say somebody's name because that's the point of this.
I wanted RuPaul to be like, oh, girl, never mind.
That's the part we didn't see, but
right.
I really appreciate Candy for always being the one to break it down. Like the last time when it was her and Gottmik in the bottom, and they had to design their own outfits, and they were the two most
that was the episode Olivia should have went home.
Time. Yes, that was the episode Olivia should have went home, and that was the episode where Candy was like, no, fuck y'all, because we had to do the most work out of all y'all hoes.
Which they did.
And we still turned it. And they did still the fuck turn it out.
They did.
I love Candy because she's not afraid to advocate for herself. And that's a trait
that's true.
More of us need to have.
That's true.
And she's black, so I'm going to root for her over Rose. So, but I have to say, I will not be mad if Rose wins because Rose is very talented and has not publicly said or done anything racist to my knowledge. Y'all might let me know if that's wrong. Just like I thought Uniqua was so fun and so cute, and then y'all were like, that bitch is a stone cold racist. So I get it, but until then, I won't be mad if she wins. But I'm rooting for the two blacks and Gottmik to be in the top 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Best of luck to all the girls, though. Let's wrap it up with a letter from Dina, who says, I have a friend that I've known since high school, and we've kept in contact, but we haven't been that close since we live in different cities. Recently, we've reconnected, and we've been spending a lot of time together because we are currently both out of work. She lives with her long-term boyfriend, who is doing way better than any of her previous partners, and he's fun to hang out with. But there's one problem. She does not stop talking about how great this nigga is when he's in the room and when he's not. It's not all that she talks about, but she manages to slip in things that she likes about him, often enough to where I'm like, okay, I get it, girl. Damn, you love him. She's never been in a healthy romantic relationship before, and she has had pretty strained relationships with her parents. So I understand that having a healthy romantic relationship now is a big deal. But they have been dating for 4 years, and I thought by now she would have calmed down about this man, but here we are. How do I tell my friend that I don't want to hear her gushing about her boyfriend without seeming like a hater? I'm honestly very happy for her, but I don't need to hear about every little kind thing that this man does. Damn, like I said, it has been 4 years. Any advice is welcome. Thanks, Dina.
Dina, I don't have a nice answer for you.
Right. First of all, if you ever ask us about nice answers, you should know who you're talking to, and that's not what we have.
Right. I mean,
literally never.
I feel like the best advice I can probably give you in this scenario is that sarcasm can go a long way in many situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, me personally, the next time that the next time that your friend were to be bringing him up and is like, oh, he's just
so obsessed.
Hey, got me this basket of roses, and oh my goodness, he paid my car note. I'll be like, oh, and did you see the sun and the moon and the mountain and the rivers? And did you see heaven when he made sweet love to you? Like, I would just say something annoying, sarcastic that makes it clear that, like, girl, 1, I don't care, and 2, I'm tired. But I'm not a good person. So you should probably just maybe, I don't know, be honest with her and say that, like, we don't necessarily have to talk about niggas every single time that we hang out. In fact, many people look to time with their girls, time with their boys, time with their NBs. Like, many people
NBs
look at time with their folks as a moment to not think about that motherfucker in their life. Even if it's good, like, even if it's a good time, like, it's healthy to have time away from that person with your friends. That's just about the time with your friends. That's how you maintain your friendship. Like, if you spend all your time together talking about your fucking relationships, what are you building with one another?
Yeah.
What did you eat for breakfast, bitch? Where did you get them shoes? Like,
literally that.
How are you feeling? When's the last time you got a mammogram? I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just saying, like,
you're still
I don't
not
think
wrong,
that there's.
though. You're not wrong.
I don't think there's anything wrong with, in a kind way, if you choose, saying to her, like, can we just have girl time and just talk about us? Like, I'm really happy that you're happy in your relationship, and that's what I want for you. And please know that if there is any spectacular occurrence in your relationship, such as an engagement, childbirth, lottery win, I don't know, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, totally sure. Share the information with me. But I don't give a fuck that nigga knows your Starbucks order. I don't. And I don't want to hear about this every single time we hang out. I think that that's fair. I don't feel like that's like a bad thing.
Yeah, but no, it's definitely not. I don't think that that's unfair at all. What I would do is talk to my friend separately and tell her, hey, so like I could not be more happy for you. And I truly am like ecstatic and over the moon that you are happy. But please keep in mind that I want what you have and this is hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like if y'all are really friends, then you should be able to have that kind of private one-on-one conversation. Because it's not that you're not happy for her. It's not that. It's that every time she talks about how great her man is, you feel a little more lonely. And your friend would not want you to feel that way. So...
Would she?
No, your real friend would not want you to feel lonely.
Yes. Right, yes.
Maybe the friend you only hang out with when it's time to go to the club or split a hotel room. But like...
Preach.
But like your real friend does not want you to feel bad because she is happy in her relationship. And so I would take her aside. I would talk to her like that separately, or I would just, if I didn't feel strong enough to have that conversation one-on-one, then every time she talked about her man, I would just have to be like really conscious with reminding myself that like, this is not an attack on me and my feelings. My friend is happy and she trusts me. So she is sharing this with me and I'm happy for her. Like, it would take a lot more emotional work, I think, to just kind of go back to your room at the end of the day and be like, I'm not going to try to make this about me. I'm not going to ask why I don't have somebody when she does. I'm not going to compare myself to her or my niggas to her niggas. Like, I feel like that would take way more work than just saying something to her outright. But if I didn't feel ready to say something to her, then I would try to like accept it and compartmentalize it as best as I possibly could. But I don't know. I think aside from those two things, you're pretty much in a really hard position. And no matter what, like no matter which way you come at your friend and try to talk to her about this, she should be able to understand where you're coming from, and y'all should be able to like find a happy medium where both of you feel comfortable with the relationship continuing the way that it is. Like, it's not impossible for her to save some of this extra gushy stuff for her married friends, and it's not impossible for you as her best friend to like show her some support and be there as she's going through this giant transition in life. Like, I feel like both of y'all can find a happy medium, but you do have to be completely honest with her about how you're feeling, because otherwise she don't know that she's breaking your heart with all this.
I mean, I feel like she should try to read the fucking room, but...
I mean, there is some of that. Like, there is some of, damn girl, you can't see that I'm hurting, but I also, as a...
Like, shit, bitch.
But like, as a woman who has had very, very, very many engaged friends, as soon as them hoes get a ring...
That's true.
When I tell you they lose their whole minds, they lose their whole minds. They will snap off on you for anything. You be like, I'm getting my hair cut. They be like, how dare you? How dare you betray me before my wedding day? When you know everybody's hair has to be 3 1/4 length past their shoulder bones for my reception. How dare you?
This is like barely an exaggeration.
It's honestly like one step.
Like, this is so true.
This is actually how the girls act. So like, I get it. I really do. I only get it because I've seen so many of y'all go through it. But like, be real with what your friend can handle and don't be mad at her because this is hard for her. The thing is, like, I feel like society or your parents or whoever, the Bible, the church, somebody has lied to you, because you can actually be happy for somebody and be jealous of somebody at the same time. That is completely possible. What it's about is the support that you show the person. It's about whether you're mature enough to handle the way you feel about it. Can you handle the fact that, can you even acknowledge to yourself that you are happy for the person you love and jealous because you wish you were also in that position? Can you even truly acknowledge that to yourself? A lot of y'all can't. So there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not trying to minimize that at all, but it is very possible. And I would say if you love your friend and you want this to be your friend for life, y'all should find a way to work through it. I've never been jealous of any of my friends who got married, so I can't say I understand. And in fact, every time I've been that bitch backstage giving that bitch a shot of vodka or whiskey or something, saying, you could do it, bitch. Like, I'm the one encourage her to marry y'all's bum asses any goddamn way. So,
yep. Awesome.
But that doesn't change my message. It really doesn't. Yeah. Find a way, if you really love this woman, find a way to support her. And that goes both ways. If you're the one giving out all the energy and you're not giving none of it back, then reassess this person's position in your life. But if y'all really care about each other, please talk to each other. Say, hey, because I know it's hard. Send her a text, or when y'all talk on the phone or in person, say, girl, this is hard for me. So please just let me get it out because this is hard for me to say. And if this is really your good friend, y'all will grow closer. Like, if this is really your Judy, this is really your nigga, then y'all will grow closer from this incident. So, like, just be more vulnerable. Take the risk is what I can say to people. And best of luck to everybody trying to figure this shit out because I know it's hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. Like, imagine you want to get married so bad and everybody around you is getting married and your last single friend announces that they're getting engaged. Like, you probably gonna feel a little sick to your stomach about it. Maybe not the boys, but a lot of girls will feel really sick to their stomach about being the last one unmarried in the group.
Makes you feel any better. There's like 5 movies with this exact premise. Maybe watch one of them. I mean, I don't think any of them have black women in it, but I don't know.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure Issa will make a movie like this soon if it's not already in development. But yeah, talk to each other and let us know how it goes. That is going to wrap up the questions for this week. Make sure you send yours to asktheread@gmail.com. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. Okay, Now Listen is a bi-weekly podcast hosted by Scotty Beam and Sylvia Obell, brought to you by Netflix and Strong Black Lead. Join these two best friends as they talk openly and honestly about what's on their minds, what they're binging, and what's blowing up their timeline. I love Scotty and Sylvia. They cover everything from cuffing season to hotels to the ways we use social media to heal. Scotty Beam is a media personality, of course, music enthusiast. Sylvia Obell is an incredible writer, producer, and a lover of Beyonce, like we all are. Okay, Now Listen is a podcast by and about Black women who love all things Netflix and beyond. I mean, way, way, way beyond. So, of course, they have the best Netflix recommendations and exclusive interviews with people like Issa Rae, Zendaya, and many, many, many more that we all know and love. New episodes drop every other Thursday, so subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts and follow Strong Black Lead on all socials to stay up to date. Again, that's Okay Now Listen, hosted by Scotty Beam and Sylvia Obell. So follow at Strong Black Lead on all the socials to keep in touch with what they're doing. Let's move on.
This week's episode is also being brought to you by the top-rated mobile puzzle adventure game, Best Fiends. Best Fiends has thousands of levels plus new content added all the time, so you never run out of entertainment. You don't have to be a hardcore gamer to love it. It's a casual game. It's fun. It's on the road, on the run, in bed, when it's raining. It's made for adults, but it's fun for all, unless you hate fun, which then I don't know why you're listening to this, because we're just loads of fun with Best Fiends. There's something new today and tomorrow and every day after that. There are literally thousands of levels to play and counting, plus tons of cute little characters for you to collect. You never get tired of solving puzzles. Then check out Best Fiends because the fun never ends. I was obsessed when I was playing with it myself. And I mean, let's face it. Is there anything I do besides write and talk shit and play games? No. So download Best Fiends free today on the Apple App Store or Google Play. And that is Friends Without the R. Best Fiends. Go play it. Have some fun. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to get your work done too. And let's get back to the show. All right. So we're back. It's time for the read. And I just have a couple of words for two white boys that need to remember that they're white.
Amen.
Okay, so for the first one, I'm not even going to take too much time on this one. The Chet Hanks There will never be a white boy summer. It's just called summer. It's just summer. It's just every summer is a white boy summer. All of them. All of them. There's nothing different, interesting, or exotic about you just because you claim you love black women and you fucking, I don't know, listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony or whatever.
We don't care.
We don't care. There's no, oh, not the Trump supporter white boy, the Jack Harlows and the John B's and the
Oh, no.
I guess you're trying to name white boys that black folk like, but don't nobody really give a fuck about you, bruh. I want for you to stop. I want for you to just leave us the fuck alone, bro. Your daddy is Tom Hanks. It's not even like your bad behavior who was like, girl, I just made $1 million on OnlyFans in 6 hours because I damn sure couldn't rap. Like, you have... Your fucking dad is Woody. Bitch, leave us the fuck alone. Like, stop talking to us in this fucking accent and saying, you know, black queens this and black queens that, because you weren't prepared for, you know, in the pre-production for White Boy Summer and Black Queen Summer, whatever the fuck dumb shit you thought you were doing. You weren't prepared for us to find out about you allegedly abusing your last black girlfriend.
Oh, but we did, motherfucker. We did. We found out.
And you know who else found out? That frying pan that you got cracked over the head with while you playing games. We haven't forgotten that you feel like you can say nigga. There's nothing interesting, exotic, or fun about you. I want for you to just enjoy the fact that you have money, you were born into it, and you've done like, I don't know, 5 roles, I think, on TV or something. Leave us the fuck alone, my nigga. Leave us alone. Oh, called you the wrong thing. I don't want you to get too comfortable. Leave us the fuck alone. White boy summer is never going to be a thing. Never. It's just summer. Y'all ruin it every fucking year, and this one will be no different. Okay? Get stitched up and fuck off.
Amen.
Next. I talked about Justin Bieber and this weird Martin Luther King Jr. placement that he has on his latest album. Well, the Biebs decided to open up and discuss the controversy when he was on Clubhouse, apparently.
Why? Even I would not go on Clubhouse. Why would you do that?
Someone's gotta. So here is what he has said, according to an article that I am reading on Billboard. Okay. Oh, I'm so tired. Being Canadian, they didn't teach us about Black history. It was just not a part of our education system. What? There aren't.
Are there no black people in Canada? Thank you. They didn't have to teach you about American Black history. Are there no Negroes in Canada at all? What do you mean? Is that what you're saying?
I think for me, coming from Canada and being uneducated and making insensitive jokes when I was a kid and being insensitive and being honestly just a part of the problem because I just didn't know better. Okay. That's not a sentence. For me to have this platform to just share this raw moment of Martin Luther King in a time where he knew he was going to die for what he was standing up for. You know what? I'm going to pause here anyway.
Okay.
So let's just do something. Let's just go over this. So you are telling me that in Canada, they teach you no form of Black history. Fine, right? Let's say they teach a Black Canadian history instead.
Let's say they do. Exactly.
Who Drake is. I don't know. Let's say, but you mean to tell me, bitch, that you don't know who the fuck Martin Luther King Jr. is? Are you dead ass? Are you like, you're serious?
I feel like you're not. I feel like niggas around the globe know who that is.
The whole spinning planet, bitch. The whole thing. The whole thing.
I feel like you know, sister.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? We're not talking about like some random obscure Black celebrity. Like, Like from before years. We're not talking about Flip Wilson or some shit that was like, I don't know who that is.
Somebody
you're really
were you like just some random obscure Black American celebrity? That's not this.
You really are blaming Canada on this bullshit. Let's continue.
Yeah.
I want to keep growing and learning about just all social injustices and what it looks like for me to be better. What it looks like for my friends to be better. And I know I have a long way to go. I love that when people are listening to my album, these conversations are coming up and they're like, well, how is he going from Martin Luther King into a love song? All right, we're stopping. Red light. You love that people are having that conversation? You love that we're asking you what the fuck you're doing with Martin Luther King quotes? That's a blast for you, huh? Great. He continues, I'm not trying to make a connection between me and Martin Luther King. You couldn't. That's why I never try to talk about social injustice.
But you brought it up.
But
you brought it up. Okay.
There's a track on the fucking album called MLK Interlude. You absolutely connected yourself, nigga. And we didn't ask you to. If you would have asked us, we would have told you not to. We would have helped you, young white man.
Yeah, because niggas love helping white people. But we
don't give a fuck that give you on your album so you feel like you could put... Anyway.
We did not ask for this.
I'm not trying to make a connection between me and Martin Luther King. That's why I never talk about social injustice, or I didn't want to be the one to talk about it because I just have so much more learning to do. But you felt like this was a good idea.
Yep.
Cool. But I have this man who was ready to die and what he believed to be true. If I'm not willing to face some sort of ridicule or judgment of people wondering my motives or whatever that is for me, it was a no-brainer.
Oh, good. So they got you.
I cannot believe that you opened your white mouth on Clubhouse or wherever the fuck house, Playhouse, Ronald McDonald. I don't give a bitch. So, in conclusion,
yes, as Jesus,
what you are saying is that you admittedly don't know dick
not one
about
thing.
Martin Luther King.
Not one fucking thing.
Nothing about him.
Said that.
Nothing about what he stood for.
Right.
Nothing about his impact on the world. Nothing at all. And you don't talk about social injustices because you don't know anything about them. But what we do know is that you named your fucking album Justice and put two clips from Martin Luther King's speeches and sermons on your album. The same nigga that you admit you don't know shit about. Justin, I want to ask you who cares about you. I want to ask. You know, it ain't me. We know that. But I want to know who is behind the scenes that gives a fuck about you, sir. Where's Scooter? Who do we need to fucking talk to? Because I don't give a fuck what they fucking taught you in school or didn't teach you at school in Canada. Some the fuck body at Team Bieber knew better and chose not to do better. I'm not I don't understand why you would come and say anything about this besides wasn't a great idea, my bad, y'all. You really sit up here trying to say, I'm so glad that people are having this conversation when you're also admitting that the conversation is what the fuck is wrong with Justin Bieber? You're glad we're having that conversation?
You're not.
And also a fuck you to Justin Bieber's security guard, Lauren Walters, who apparently says that he found this MLK shit very admirable because it brings awareness to something that's been going on in America for decades and centuries. Lauren, it doesn't, because it is a clip of Martin Luther King talking about being willing to die for something, followed by a Justin Bieber song where he talks about how much he fucking loves his wife. It is not bringing up, what?
His white wife.
The only people that are bringing up Martin Luther King's actual impact on America and the world and the whatever, the something that's been going on in America for centuries, the only people that have been bringing that shit up are the people who knew better and are asking why the fuck this bullshit is on his fucking album. And quite honestly, Bernice, I'm going to give Bernice a break. I'm going to leave Bernice out of this because Bernice went ahead and thanked Justin Bieber, but in the same sentence also acknowledged that he somehow, I guess, donated or somehow supported the King Center organization or something like that. So at least somebody on the team was like, it doesn't really fucking matter the context that we put this nigga on the album. As long as we, donate to a couple of fucking charities and shit, that's chump change. It doesn't matter. It'll be fine. You wiggers are draining me today. Like, you're not gonna come over here and try to siphon the flavor out of the motherfucking culture and shit like that, and then at the same time be blatantly wide ass wrong, racist, and a fool.
Say it.
Like, talking about white boy summers and justice. If you don't hop the fuck off of a dick and find some sense, you weird white bitches, I'm done.
Exactly. Literally weird white bitches. Thank you for that, friend. I feel like this is not too far away from your original point, but I also have two very quick things to talk about. And then I'll be out of here. First of all, Michael Rapaport. We literally don't care.
Oh, bitch. Do we ever not give a fuck?
First of all, we don't care. We've never liked you. And I have my reasons for not liking Kevin Durant. They have a lot to do with abandoning the Oklahoma City Thunder for the very team we lost to in the NBA Finals. But I will not talk about it. I will not talk about it. However,
you have.
I greatly dislike Kevin Durant. You can leave it at that. And yet, Kevin Durant and Michael Rapaport apparently had an exchange via Instagram DM. And if you have not seen this, I literally implore you to look it up. Because in late March, Michael Rapaport published these screenshots where at Easy Money Sniper is DMing Michael and calling him a bitch, calling him a dickhead, calling Chuck his baby daddy, saying that, it was dumbass questioning, calling this nigga a cunt, a pasty cum guzzling bitch, said he was gonna spit in this motherfucker's face when he see his dirty ass, told him where we meet me. Actually, give me your address and I'll meet you right there, nigga. I will meet you on the fucking corner, you goddamn pussy. I will beat your fucking ass and you a goddamn bitch for caring about me in the first fucking place, you goddamn cocksucker. Trump didn't care about your bitch ass and I don't want either, so use me all you need to. You fucking joke, you goddamn pale cocksucker. Go get some goddamn sun and touch class, you desperate bitch, because it's fucking with your measly ass brain, motherfucker. You goddamn clown. Don't make give a fuck about you. Suck a dick. And I can't wait to say it in person, you stupid bitch.
So, wait a minute. So I didn't actually read it.
Oh, it's all of, like, that is not really an exaggeration. It really wasn't. It really was not.
I did not know what he said to him. I just heard about what happened.
Yeah. So after Michael published these screenshots, Kevin Durant got in trouble with NBA, who fined him $50,000, which is literally chump change for him. But
that's what I heard.
Fined him $50,000 for using offensive and derogatory language on social media, which is clearly a violation.
Wait, they can't do that?
Apparently, yes. What you say on social media, you can be held responsible for. And I think that is why Paul Pierce got fired from whatever show he had with ESPN over the last few days, because he got caught with some strippers, I think, or something. And somebody cross-published the footage from Instagram to Twitter. And I think that's how he got fired. But regardless, as stupid as I think it is for NBA players to be fined for what they say off-site of the NBA, I'm so proud of Kevin Durant in a in a way that I never thought I could be proud of Kevin Durant. I truly thought I would hate Kevin Durant for the rest of my life because, you know, the way he betrayed me and the rest of the fans of the Oklahoma City Thunder. But
yes,
getting that pasty half-dead white man together was completely worth it in my opinion. And if it costs $50,000 to a nigga who has millions, and I hope he paid it and paid it gladly. And I just hope that when he see that nigga in person, he actually lays hands on him outside of the range of a security camera. Because that's what Michael Rapaport deserves, and that's what Kevin Durant deserves to deliver unto him.
Michael Rapaport is like a scumbag.
He literally is. Like, you're not going to get me to care about Michael Rapaport because the thing about that motherfucker is that because he's white and respected for whatever reason within the industry, he's like one of the top 2 or 3 go-to white boys for anything black. And that also means that like white people don't give a fuck about him. He only gets paid when it comes to something black. Like Michael Rapaport would be nothing without niggas. And yet niggas continue to give him a platform.
Because he said stuff before that niggas agree with in times of like whatever social shit is going on.
Yep.
And like that gets like a lot of viral attention of people. And then also he has that like around the way Brooklyn. I don't know where he's from. I know he's from up here somewhere, but he's got that like accent of like the nigga that lives across the street or down the street or whatever. And in fact, I feel like he's usually posting videos from across the street or down the street or wherever.
He is.
And so it's like niggas like him for that, but then ignore like the fucked up shit that he often says as well.
Yeah.
And it's like he's also a comic first, so I think that also helps a lot of the bullshit go, you know, underneath whatever's. But like I literally don't like even feel passionately about, like I just don't care about him. So when I heard about this, I was like, damn, although like you said 50,000 ain't shit, I hate that he got fined for it.
Yeah, I do.
But too. I also did not know what he said.
Oh, yeah, no, he went in on that motherfucker. Like, he literally went in on that nigga.
We should call this show the Durant. We need to just change the name of it. He dragged that bitch.
He did. Like, he dragged that nigga from the rooter to the tutor. He went fucking in. And that's why I said, you know, as angry as I am at Kevin Durant on like a soul level, I cannot be mad at this because you still got a white man together and that's what matters. So... free Kevin Durant, and hopefully he will get.
And so he screenshotted them and posted them and said, "Look what Kevin Durant said to me."
Michael screenshotted the Instagram DMs and posted them on Twitter, and everything was like, "Look what Kevin Durant said about me." I normally don't post these things, but oh my god, it was like Kevin hurt his feelings so bad, and it's like, but you are a little bitch, and you ain't shit. So what is the problem here? All I see is the facts laid out in front of your bitch ass face.
Oof.
Child. So
yikes.
Yeah.
Well,
there is Kevin. That. And also I just want to say a lot of y'all have tagged me in this story about Boosie getting kicked off Instagram once again.
Didn't we talk about that?
Did we?
I think so.
We may have. I just want to say in case we didn't, I don't care that he paid this man $500 some odd to not, you know, file a lawsuit or whatever. I don't care about whatever this.
Yeah, we did talk about this.
Okay. I just want to make sure y'all know I literally don't care that this man was paid or whatever else because Lil Boosie is a cancer upon society and we are better off without him having a social media platform. So let's just be super clear about that shit. You ain't never gonna catch me raising up the flag on behalf of that nigga. Stop asking.
Boosie is like, at this point, he's a TV show that you either watch or you don't.
Yeah, he's like the Kardashians.
It's like that's either your type of entertainment and you really desperately want it, or you could absolutely live without it.
Right.
I think everyone knows what side I'm on. And you know what? On today, I'm gonna let everyone have their things. But what, unfortunately, we won't have is a Boosie Instagram for now.
And
until he
that's
makes
fine.
like the next backup one or whatever, and then does something else stupid to get that one fucking blocked or deleted, and then he's gonna blame Mark Zuckerberg, another fucking idiot who has no idea who he is.
Leave that man out of it, please.
You either live for Boosie vision or you don't. And I don't.
And I don't, right? I'm so glad you stuck that part in there because I don't live for it at all. And I don't care if he gets booted off of Instagram 1,000 trillion billion times.
I don't.
That's going to be fine with me every single time because this is the same person who orchestrated, like, for lack of better words, a rape for his underage child. Like, this is the same person who bragged about having some hired sex professional assault his young child. So I'm not, whatever argument you think you finna make, think about that first and then don't talk to me about Lil Boosie.
It super dives right back into your point of everybody being completely like, when it comes to niggas, especially niggas of influence, it's just like, oh, I don't give a fuck that he stabbed my mama in the face.
Literally
like,
that.
I love his music. Okay, I guess.
Yeah, you can do that all you want to, but leave me out of it, nigga, because I am not you, and that shit is never gonna be okay with me. And I feel like that's all I'm asking of niggas. Stop talking to me about Lil Boosie. I'm never gonna be on his side. I don't care what the white folks do.
People even tagged me a couple of times on Twitter in this video of him being mistaken for Flavor Flav or something in the airport.
Oh God, that was so funny.
Which is hilarious. But like, I didn't even watch that. Like, I laughed when I read about it because it's funny. But
you didn't watch the video.
I didn't watch the video because I just don't want to look at him. Like, I don't like.
Yeah.
I just don't care. I'm tired of it at this point. I'm certain that he'll do some other really ridiculous, foolish shit that we will have no choice to talk about. And if it makes y'all laugh, then great, mission accomplished. But me genuinely on my own as a person, could not care if he paid me. Well, I guess you do. But like,
but you would have to pay me way more to care.
We don't care. It's just so foolish. It's like ultimate nigga. It's the final boss of nigga.
Exactly. That's exactly it. It is just the niggeriest of the nigga shit we cover on this show. And if you're asking us to be sorry for a man who is so vocally against the very things that we are as human beings, it's not gonna happen. Please stop asking. I can't do
it, sis. I'm
Go
so
ask
sorry.
some straight show. Go ask some cisgender heterosexual show. Literally, go ask anybody but us because the answer is no.
And that nigga is regional. Suck my dick. How you feel about that?
He is. I'm sorry.
Boots.
I'm sorry.
So I'm not even that motherfucking attached if we keeping it a buck because that nigga been regional.
Oh damn, the nigga's making it personal.
Get mad. I don't give a fuck.
But the thing is, you're not wrong. Like when it comes to Louisiana, Lil Weezy and Birdman, probably the biggest niggas out of Louisiana in hip hop. And I don't see that changing.
I don't think it's like exclusive to Louisiana. I'm sure it's like sprinkles of like, you know, neighboring states and other parts of the South and stuff like that. But it like I myself never had no motherfucking attachment to like Boosie records growing up, the same way that there are probably loads of fucking Florida songs, Miami records, and artists that other people could say the same about. But maybe like niggas in Atlanta love them because they got mad family in fucking South Florida, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So like, I'm not fucking going to the ends of no goddamn earth for that nigga or his Instagram account or his right to put iced honey buns in his frosted flakes. Fuck that. I don't care. Leave me alone.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And that's why I leave out like niggas from Houston, niggas from Atlanta, niggas from Dallas. Because I get that they're like their own regions with a huge national representation, or at least bigger than what Boosie ever was. But like, you regular ass niggas who was real fucking popping in your city, in Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama and all that other shit, like, it's not gonna get bigger than what that nigga has done. And I truly don't care when what you are doing is so harmful to my own niggas. That's the thing. Like, y'all say this shit, like the people you talking about still supposed to support you. And that's where you have us completely fucked up. So no, I don't care that Mark Zuckerberg, right. So I don't care that Mark Zuckerberg canceled your second Instagram account that you wasn't supposed to have because you got banned for the first one. And so you circumvented it in the first place, and they literally did not care enough about your black ass to do nothing about it until now. I don't care about that.
The gag is, not only did Mark Zuckerberg have nothing to do with it, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't even a human being that did it. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if there's just some sort of algorithm or system within Instagram where when you get a certain amount of complaints or something
yes. Where
I mean,
automatically shut your shit down.
If the very same app can turn your face into a butterfly or a sock or put music in your eyes or whatever fuck shit, I wouldn't be surprised if just being flagged is enough to be like, boop, shut down. So I wouldn't even get like, we know Mark Zuckerberg has no idea who Boosie is.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely not.
But I wouldn't gag if it's like not even a person doing it. And if it is, girl, they're like, they probably hate Mark Zuckerberg. So like, shut up.
Leave the rest of us out of it. And I think that's going to wrap up this week's episode of The Read. Check us out on social media at This Is The Read. Our website is thisistheread.com. And you can find our merch at shoptheread.com. Kid Fury, any news for you this week, friend, before we leave?
Not really. I don't remember if I said it last week, but SPF. You know what I'm saying? Get some SPF in your life.
Important.
Change your toothbrush every 3 months. And for God's sakes, take all of them clothes off of that one chair in your room. Have you ever even sat in that chair before? My God.
Wait.
What a hamburger.
Why are you attacking us like this? It's about 8 dresses on one folding chair in my room right now because I just have.
You got a closet right there. Just, what are you waiting for?
Because they like breathing. That's what I tell myself. They like breathing in the wild.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to bed.
All right, y'all. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next week.